be sent to the border, come and make Ken ID. So when I was still Amish, me and my parents went to Canada to get my tonsils removed. And we used our birth certificates and social security cards to get across the border. Now, we did get detained at the border for about 15, 20 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. It's kind of hazy, but I was a little scared. This was post 9/11. They took things very seriously. And they called back to Ohio and checked in with our doctor that we had consulted with and that had scheduled the surgery in Canada. And then they also called to the hospital to also check with them, make sure that they had scheduled me in for surgery that day or the following day. And when everything checked out, they were like, okay, you're good to go. And then my driver left and he almost turned the wrong way and went back into the United States. And it said, warning, one way, something if you try to back up across these things, like you'll shred your tires or something. And he almost started driving over that part, and then he had to back up and turn around. So we almost had to go through the whole debacle again. And the driver was kind of cool. He could speak German, and he was always nice to ride with and chat with. Hogl was his name. But yeah, he could speak German, so you could conversate with him in German somewhat. And he was always joking around. He was a good driver, you know, and I always liked riding with him. So he was kind of joking about that. And then we made it to Canada all right. We made it up there. On the way back, there wasn't much of that at all because we were U.S. citizens and we were returning. So it was actually easier to get back into the United States than it was to get into Canada. Which makes sense considering that, you know, we were citizens returning versus non-citizens entering a new country. But I spent 2 nights there, 2 nights in Canada. So I have spent 2 nights outside the United States, 2 nights and 3 days. That's not bad, you know. But it was a good experience. You know, I really enjoyed it. It wasn't, the countryside up there wasn't that much different than it was in the United States, I didn't feel like. It just felt like more United States. It just felt like, you know, the same country kind of, except the people were different. The money was different. There was kilometers per hour instead of miles per hour, you know. But most Amish kids do have a social security number and a birth certificate, even if their parents refuse to give it to them when they leave. And that's what I've seen a lot. I have had to help a couple of kids after they've left to go and get that stuff without any ID, and it is not easy.